I'm your book lover, Richard Mahanti, and in this episode, I'm going to do a review about the 10th chapter of Sorcerer, the first part of Harry Potter, written by J.K. Rowling. The name of the chapter is Halloween. Now, I want to give a little reminder of what happened in the last video. In the last video, Harry and Ron, Neville, and Hermione managed to escape the three-headed dog that accidentally the four went inside and it was in the forbidden corridors. And Harry was thinking that in the first day Harry and Hagrid met, Hagrid said that Gringotts was the safest place, but perhaps except Hogwarts too. It seemed like Harry knew now where the grubby little package from Vault 317 was now. Alright, back to the video. Boop! Draco Malfoy couldn't believe his eyes when he saw that Ron and Harry were still at Hogwarts. Apparently, Malfoy tricked Harry and Ron to go into the trophy room, and he told the caretaker, Argus Filch, that there was something going on in the trophy room, so that Filch would stay in the trophy room, catch them red-handed, and manage to at least expel them or give them a detention. However, Ron and Harry, Neville and Hermione managed to escape. And when Harry sat on the chair, Harry and Ron began to discuss what could be the grubby little package in Vault 317. It could be very valuable or very dangerous, said Ron. Or maybe both, said Harry. But their options were limited since the grubby little package was only 2 centimeters long. But then another happy thought came to Harry as the owl mail came out, and an owl was carrying a very long package with a letter attached to it, waiting for Harry to open it. Harry first opened the letter, and he was lucky because the letter contained a warning. This contains, please do not open in front of the other students. This contains your new Nimbus 2000 broomstick, and that you have been given for being promoted for Seeker. You will see at Oliver Wood at 7 o'clock to get your first session. From Professor McGonagall. Harry couldn't help but looking pleased with himself as he showed Ron his letter. A Nimbus 2000, Ron moaned enviously. I've never been able to touch one. And Harry and Ron were running after their breakfast. Harry and Ron were running up to Gryffindor Tower to put the broomstick safely under Harry's 4-poster bed until Draco Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle towered against them when they were in the middle of their way to Gryffindor Tower. That's a broomstick, Potter, said Malfoy, throwing his spite and jealousy on her. Oh, but first years aren't allowed with broomsticks. You're probably going to get expelled or probably punished. And you're not going to go out free like the last time, said Malfoy. And his sudden jealous look turned into an expression of glee. But then suddenly Professor Filtwick walked along and said, Hope you're not fighting, boys. Boys? No, Professor Filtwick. Harry's got a broomstick. Ah, yes, I've heard, Professor Filtwick. Professor McGonagall gave it to him on special condition. Which model is it, Potter? Professor Filtwick said happily. A Nimbus 2000, said Harry, and he tried to strangle himself and trying hard not to laugh at Malfoy's horror on the horror on Malfoy's face. And Professor Filtwick was gone. Harry ran up the dormitory laughing about Malfoy's rage and confusion. Well, I wouldn't be on the Quidditch team if Malfoy hadn't tried snatching the Remember Ball when Neville had to go to the hospital wing. Oh, and you think that's a reward for breaking the rules? Said a cold voice. It was Hermione Granger. Oh, I thought you stopped talking to us, said Harry. Yeah, don't stop. It's been doing us so much good. Hermione stormed off, muttering about rule breakers. Harry could not concentrate much on his class, knowing that there was a new fast broomstick that was waiting for him under his dormitory bed, waiting to be flown on in November. And when Harry's classes were done, he bolted up to the Great Hall, sped up his dinner, and ran over to his dormitory with Ron to look at their new broomstick, the Nimbus 2000. When they opened the package up, Ron and Harry gawped at it. It was the most beautiful broomstick Harry had ever seen. A clean brown stick, straight tall twigs, and a gold mahogany handle that had Nimbus 2000 entitled on it. "Oh my," said Ron. And Harry and Ron gazed at it until after some minutes it was 7 o'clock. "Oh no, I have to go with Wood," Harry said, and he took the Nimbus 2000 and run over to the Quidditch field. Harry was feeling joy inside him when he reached the Quidditch field, but Oliver Wood was not there yet. But Harry was too excited to wait for him, and he holded up his Nimbus 2000, set up, and he kicked off the ground. Harry was soaring again. Again, the wonderful feeling came on Harry. Whoosh! Until Harry kept on flying around the Quidditch field until there was a voice that said, "Hey, Potter, get down here." It was the voice of Oliver Wood. "Wow," said Oliver Wood. "Now I know what Professor McGonagall was meaning. You're a natural." Professor Oliver Wood said. "Anyway, now I'm going to tell you all about Quidditch. Quidditch has simple rules, even though it's not a simple game to play," said Oliver Wood. "Now, there are 3 chasers. And then Wood took out, and there are 3 chasers, Harry decided. Then Wood took out a red ball that was about the size of a soccer ball and said, 'This is the quaffle. The chasers have to try and catch the quaffle and throw the quaffle in the other team's hoops. Each team has 3 hoops.' Alright, one quaffle, Harry decided. There are 3 chasers. One chaser has to try catching the quaffle, throwing it on the other team's hoop," Harry said. "Got it. Now, there's one last thing about the quaffle. The keeper. I'm the keeper of the Gryffindor team, and I have to stand behind my team's hoop and protecting the quaffle in case any of our opponent's team chasers try throwing the quaffle over to our hoop. So I have to try catching it in order to stop the quaffle from falling the hoops. Each team has one keeper. The keeper has to stand behind the team's hoop, trying catching the quaffle to prevent it from scoring," Harry muttered. "Alright, and the last thing about the quaffle is that if the quaffle is fully in the hoop, you will earn 10 points. If the quaffle hits the hoop without being catched by the keeper, the quaffle will earn you 10 points," Harry recited. "Alright. Then the other 2 balls there are 3 more balls, and 2 of them are called the bludgers." And Oliver Wood took a bat from the crate and gave it to Harry. He told Harry to stand back. And then he tried taking off a strip that was holding 2 jet black balls. Harry noticed that the bludgers were trying to wiggle free from the strap as though if it were alive. Then suddenly, Oliver Wood managed to take the strap off, and the bludger zoomed and tried to break Harry's nose. Harry swung the bat with all his might at the bludger to prevent from breaking his nose. The bludger went zooming around, and it came back and it came back to Oliver Wood. Oliver Wood catched it and strangled it back into its case. See? Oliver Wood panted after he was done. The bludgers rocketed around trying to knock players off their brooms. That's why there are two beaters. And he held up the bat. And Harry got the impression that these were the beaters' tools. On each team there are two beaters. The beaters have to whack the bludgers away from their crewmates. The beaters can also whack the bludgers to a specific opponent that they are facing. And Harry recited all of this. Then Wood said, finally, there's the Golden Snitch. And that was Harry's job. If Harry caught the snitch, he would earn 150 points and the game would be over. Most team wins if they catch the snitch. But if the other team has more points, even if they get to 150 points, the other team wins. To get a better imagination of what the snitch looked like, I want to show you a little snitch I have of myself. See? It's pretty pretty, right? Anyway, Oliver Wood and Harry started practicing with golf balls or ordinary golf balls. Harry asked why they weren't playing with the snitch, and Oliver said it was too dark and they might lose the snitch somewhere. So Oliver would only use golf balls, and he threw the golf balls on his broomstick, and Harry always catched every single ball. When their first session was done, Oliver raised one triumphant fist in the air. We are going to win with you, Harry, on the team. We haven't won since Charlie Weasley left, but this year we really win the Quidditch Cup. Raised his fist down, and Harry started walking off to Gryffindor Tower. Harry started wondering whether it wasn't so much of his homework and classes. He hadn't realized he'd already been in Hogwarts for 2 months. Hogwarts felt more as his home more than Pivot Drive, Harry thought to himself, before he snoozed off in bed. The next day, Harry soon realized, hey, it's Halloween! He woke up Ron and Harry said, Happy Halloween, Ron! Harry woke up groggily and said, Happy Halloween. Both of them changed into their robes and they went off to the Great Hall to eat for the Halloween feast. When Ron sat on a chair and sniffed a chicken leg, he said, this food tastes super good. I wonder how the chefs in the kitchen managed to make the food so good. And the feast started with traffic light orange pumpkins and fluttering bats, spooky knights, and cobwebs hanging on the ceiling. But in the middle of the feast, suddenly Professor Quirrell was running. Troll, in the dungeons! I just thought you'd like to know it. And Professor Quirrell fainted. There was an uproar. It took 8 shots from Dumbledore's wand to calm everyone down. Prefects, Dumbledore rumbled. Lead the first years back to their dormitories. Teachers, follow me. Percy was in his element. Follow me, first years, follow me. No need to fear the troll if you just follow me. Harry and Ron were running, but in the middle of their running, Harry heard Parvati Patel tell her best friend Lavender Brown, saying that, I heard that Hermione kept herself locked up in the girls' bathroom, only crying. Harry suddenly stopped and looked at Ron. What? Ron said. Hermione, she doesn't know about the troll. Ron looked at Harry for a few moments and then said, fine, but make sure Percy doesn't see us. Harry and Ron bolted out when Percy was not looking and hid behind a pillar. When Harry got a peek of the troll, he tried going inside the chamber the troll was, until Ron hissed, "Percy!" and pulled him back. Percy walked. He looked around for anything, and then he walked again. Harry and Ron finally managed to take the key from the key holder and lock the troll in the chamber. "Woohoo!" Harry and Ron celebrated quietly. "We locked the troll." But then Harry's heart jumped. They locked the troll in the girls' bathroom. "Ron, we locked the troll in the girls' bathroom. That's where Hermione is." Harry and Ron soon realized their mistake and jabbed the key in the lock hole. They found Hermione just in time, cowering behind the walls. And the gigantic, ugly troll with gray skin, hairs all over it, dirty brown trousers, and holding an enormous wooden club. Ron quickly took a pipe from one of the broken sinks and threw it at the troll. "Oi, pea-brain!" Ron yelled. The troll did not feel the pipe hit him, but he paused at these words, and he turned around to Ron. "Come on, get out," Harry whispered to Hermione, but Hermione was stuck there with fear. Then Ron said he needed backup, so Harry did something very brave and very stupid. He ran up, jumped onto the troll's shoulders, and strangled his arms around the troll's neck. A troll could not feel your arms around its filthy neck, but the troll could feel when a boy with a lightning-shaped scar stuck his wand up a troll's nose. The troll moaned in agony, and he started trying to throw Harry off. Harry signaled Ron that he needed some help, and then Ron's son suddenly realized, Hey, last class, I learned a spell that could make objects fly." Then he bellowed, "Wingardium Leviosa!" and the wooden club in the troll's hand flew up 4 inches. The troll looked up at the club in the air, and the club suddenly fell on the troll. Bonk! The troll smashed to the ground, but luckily Harry jumped just in time so he prevent himself from breaking his back on the girls' bathroom floor. Hermione was the first one to speak after the troll was knocked out cold. Is he dead?" Hermione squeaked. "No, but she knocked out cold," said Harry. Harry and Ron didn't realize how much racket they were making until they heard the slam of a door, and suddenly Professor McGonagall and Professor Snape and Percy the Prefect busted in the girls' bathroom. "Where? What? How? Why?" Professor McGonagall stuttered. When she saw that all the 3 of them, she said, "You could have... How are you... Why is that troll laying that up? You... What?" Her face was flashing very angry. "Explain this!" She bellowed. It was me," said Hermione. Harry and Ron were shocked on the inside. Hermione Granger, the lover of teachers and the hater of Harry and Ron, were just making up a downright lie to get Ron and Harry out of trouble. Then she turned to Hermione. "And you, Miss Granger, I expected better of you." And then she paused. "Tell me this story." "I went to the girls' bathroom because I thought I could take the troll on myself because, I've read about them." Professor McGonagall stared at Hermione, and then Hermione continued. "If it hadn't been for these 2, I'd be dead. They just found me just in time, and Harry stuck his wand up the troll's nose, and Harry stuck the wand up the troll's nose, and Ron made the troll's club fly up in the air and hit the troll. And then that's when you 3 came." Hermione finished. Well then, Hermione, Miss Granger, you foolish girl, how did you think you could tackle a 5-foot mountain troll? 5 points will be taken away from Gryffindor. Then she turned to Ron and Harry. Well, it's very unique for just two first years to knock out a 5-foot mountain troll. Each of you will be rewarded with 10 points. Professor McGonagall finished. And when Ron and Harry were hurrying up to clamber in to trying to find the fat lady so they can get in Gryffindor Tower, Hermione quickly said thanks before clambering in the tower. We should have gotten more than just 10 points, said Ron grumpily when they were walking down the stairs. You mean 5, said Harry, after the 5 Hermione had gotten away from us. Well, yeah, said Ron. It was pretty brave of her for making up a story just to save us. Yeah, it was, Harry said. And then from then on, it turns out that Ron Weasley, Harry Potter, Hermione Granger were then best friends. I mean, making up a story just to save your friends because they saved you from a 5-foot mountain troll makes a good relationship. Bye! I hope you liked this video and don't forget to share and subscribe and type in the comments below. Also, don't miss my next video, the review about the 11th chapter of Sorcerer Stone. Bye!